Collective, hey, what is going on? Welcome into the channel. So happy to have you here always. My name is Deborah, owner of Purusha Holistic Wellness, and this is another episode of Purusha Intuitive, where we're going to look at the forecast for the weekly energy via the tarot, astrology, and any channeled messages that come through. So let's get into it. I'm just going to make sure that I have sound. I tried to start on time. I do. Okay, good. Yay. I tried to start on, or I did try to start on time, but unfortunately, um, the sound was not working again today. So it be. It's just how it goes sometimes. But we are in Aries season. We have a full moon coming up this week, a full moon in Libra. Full moons in Libra deal with partnerships, with relationships. I should say Libra is partnership energy. It highlights places where people, situations are working with us, working for us. And then obviously the flip side of not so much, which has been a theme lately with the Mercury retrograde we're just coming off of. Taurus is also going to go in, or sorry, Venus is going into Taurus this week as well. And I feel like it just drives home this point of what we end up choosing, what we end up committing to based off of what we're seeing with different people, different situations, dynamics in our life, etc., is going to kind of dictate how everything plays out. Like, um, what we're seeing off that. Venus and Taurus is basically showing what we're going to choose, what we're going to commit to. I hope that's coming out clearly. I'm a little miscombobulated because of the janky starting, but we will get into it. So, what else can I talk about? Those are the two main astrological things that are happening, transits that are happening this week. The energy's been a little interesting. Definitely heightened emotion, feeling. There also is that fire energy in the collective with Aries season. So it's a little bit of a push and pull. We really have to make sure that we're tempering all those forces of intensity, aggression, frustration, along with what we think, how we feel, how we're processing our feelings, etc. There might be a need or a call to be a little bit more balanced and, or just recognize that other people might be popping off and we have to remain grounded, that type of vibe. So there is a lot of intentional energy this week. Topically, when I'm looking at the astrology, it isn't crazy. There isn't a lot of transits. We have been getting, I feel like, time and space and energy to do what we need to do, pay attention to the things we're trying to build, grow upon currently, and make changes around the things that aren't working. The astrology's given us a lot of space to do that. Nothing is going to go into retrograde until the beginning of May. So, again, highlighting places where it's really good to focus, it's really good to hone in. Venus and Taurus is going to give us that energy of what we're committing to, making sure it's a thing that's working for us, right, instead of against us. So I do like to start off, all that being said, we'll dive deeper, with the astrology. With the tarot, I'd like to start off all my readings with an energy cleansing, just kind of set the tone, set the vibe for the reading, cleanse out those places we might be coming into some blocks or limitations. It's also a really good time to set intention as well, especially if you've come in with something on your heart, on your mind, something you would like spirit to deliver to you, messages to you around, definitely give that over. Be open to receive. It's a great way to personalize these collective readings. Also, feel free to drop comments below. I love to interact. I love to engage. I will keep my eye on the chat as much as possible. Also, if you have been chatting and I haven't been responding, I do apologize. Like I said, I try to keep my eye on that. I noticed like a couple different times YouTube was registering that more conversations had come through and I didn't see anything. So again, if that's you, I apologize if I haven't responded. I try to be really good about that. Sometimes I'm flaky. It's not intentional though. It's just because I have a bajillion things going on. But all that to say, if you do want me to, I do offer, I should say, a variety of healing and wellness services, and readings are one of them. If you do want me to look at your specific situation, how it's faring, where it's headed, or if you are interested in more of a rebalancing of self, your mind, your body, your soul, I do energy healing as well as Ayurvedic or holistic wellness consultations. When we are feeling strong, when we're feeling grounded in self, that's really where we are able to tap into our happiness, our fulfillment, our success. And I would love to help support that in whatever way possible. Definitely hit me up. All the info to get into contact with me is in the description box below. And my website should be up soon. So stay tuned, hopefully this week. All right, let's get into it. I bless you with pure love and light, pure source energy, pure loving grace. I release anything that is not for your highest and best. Any fears, doubts, insecurities, lack of worth, lack of value, pain, anger, frustration, impatience, overwhelm. Cleanse it and release it from our being so that we may see and understand the messages clearly and help to make me a clear and open channel for the collective. Thank you, Father God, Spirit guides, guardian angels, Mama Love, Mama Love. All right, let's get into this wild energy. In the collective lately, there has been, I don't know if it's like fighting or just like words exchanged or a little bit of messiness that's been playing out in our overarching or our collective readings each day. And we're definitely seeing this with how the sun is aspected to Jupiter. It is tensely aspected, meaning that like we have really specific ideas about what we want things to look like, how we want them to unfold and evolve. And that can be both good and bad. The astrology has been highlighting places where it's not really working out. And like I was talking about, communication can be a little bit wonky. It can be a little bit tense, especially if we're approaching things from different perspectives with whomever, whatever we are dealing with. And I think that it looks like overarching energy, the puppet, this is a really hard thing to navigate because, and I don't really ascribe to any negative, I don't know, like black magic or just like negative things. I think where we put our intention, where we put our energy, there is such a thing as karma, and I just want to be on the right side of karma. That's how I approach things. But obviously, with tarot, etc., some of these, more negative energies do come up. People, situations that do like to play with energy, manipulate energy. They don't necessarily have to be doing black magic because, like I said, I think I really come from the perspective that magic is as simple as setting an intention. You can intend ill will or harm on someone, i.e., what a voodoo doll or a puppet represents, unfortunately. I mean, there's both good and bad symbolism. So, again, there is this energy of like depending on what side of the coin that you are on. And moving into the week, there is some tension. There is tension specifically when it comes to our feelings, our emotions, how things are being determined, how they're being communicated. Black Moon Lilith has been this kind of like tricky player behind the scenes where presenting that persona, like I was talking about, like when we have certain desires for things to work out in a certain way, Black Moon Lilith's kind of presenting this persona of like, yeah, it's going to happen exactly what you think. And then something else will come in, sideswipe to kind of change up the energy. And it doesn't end up panning out how you're thinking, how you're interpreting. But there is a purpose to all of this, even though it's a little bit, um, it's an energy that you have to be aware, not aware of, but like cognizant of in the day to day, because it can easily go south, is what I'm hearing with this puppet. And the one good thing about tension is it does really end up highlighting what we need to do. And I feel like this sun beginning of the week is Saturn positively aspected to Pluto. I've been talking a lot about this, where when we're aware of like what's not working and exactly why it's not working, that's when we have to start putting in the effort and change. And there's a lot of positive support in that direction. But it is more on the spiritual front, the evolutionary front, meaning we can't let our ego, our pride, our arrogance get the best of us, even if we are in a situation where you're totally justified. And that can be really difficult, right? That is that concept of a cognitive dissonance where we're holding two opposing ideas at the same time. And I think there is some clarity around this beginning of the week for you, or exactly kind of like what is poking, what is picking, what's prodding at you. Things that might even be a little bit more low vibey. That's how I'm picking up this energy. It is as simple or basic as like knowing what's good for you and what is not. But it also, and we'll clarify this a little bit more, 100%, 100% with this in the blocked energy. It never ceases to amaze me. I love the tarot. But this is definitely, like I said, an outside force really kind of pressuring your environment and intentionally trying to do so. The charm really does remind me of that Black Moon Lilith energy. It is the dangling of a carrot. As I'm saying that, we have Page of Cups, Six of Swords. So be really cognizant of people, of situations that are offering things that might seem nice on the surface, that, maybe off the bat, it's like, oh, that was really nice of them, or oh, I really appreciate it. It does kind of hit your heart, but then also be aware, like, make sure that you're actually processing through what is being offered. Is it enough? Basically, is what I'm hearing. Is it enough to move things forward in a way that's like good for everybody involved? And that's what the sun is kind of giving us in the beginning of the week. It's giving us clarity. It's giving us insight. And maybe we don't like everything that we see, but at the same time, it's information 100% to make choices. Make choices on what you're going to do moving forward. Two of Swords, I'm going to take this road or that road. And it is a little linear in this regard, but unfortunately, whatever energies you're dealing with, there's not a lot of wiggle room. Or if you continue to give it wiggle room, it's only going to torment you that much longer, is what I'm hearing. Like, you're never going to find a solution. There's never like a happy medium. That's why this is a very decisive energy. And I think in some ways that might be hard for you. Justice is in the blocked energy beginning of the week. Justice is the card of Libra. We have a full moon in Libra midweek. And Libras are known for being incredibly indecisive, very wishy-washy, because I think Libras can see like both sides of the coin, right? And I think that they can understand, right? Because they can understand is what I should say. It brings a lot of indecision. And that's why it's depicted as the scales, because you kind of do essentially have to weigh out the pros and cons. And that's what is not being done. It's not being done. And the more that it's getting pushed, like if I am just flexible, or if I do it this way or that way, it's going to change eventually. The more it just, the more you're reminded that it's not going to change. And that's what we're seeing with the North Node tensely aspected to Black Moon Lilith. The North Node is our healing, it's our evolution in life. And right now it's in Pisces. Pisces reminds us that we might not like what we see. It might be painful, it might be heartbreaking, but we know the truth. Truth is peaceful, it is calm, it's affirming to our soul. And so then we have to make the choices accordingly. That's why Piscean energy is about our spiritual evolution. And unfortunately, right now, Black Moon Lilith is just trying to hold us down, trying to hold us back, trying to trip us up. She is in Sagittarius, so it can be a little bit of a like crazy energy in terms of always on to the next thing, or I want bigger, I want better. It feels a little immature in this regard. So we have the Queen of Coins popping up, Virgo, Taurus, Capricorn energy, Four of Swords. Someone's bringing in maybe even a new decision. Like I'm hearing you have like this very definitive yes or no, this way or that, beginning of the week. But then it kind of transcends into something where someone, I don't know, this feels a little bit begrudgingly. This energy's been coming up a lot in our readings as well. It is feminine, it's Queen of Coins. It doesn't have to be male or female. Gender is fluid. It's more about the energy that's being emanated. And Queen of Coins is, she's kind of like the mama, so to speak, in the tarot, right? She governs earth energy, house, home, taking care of her business, of her resources, provision, etc., for the family, for the needs of like maybe financial stability. The King of Pentacles is a little bit more of the breadwinner, I would say. Again, it doesn't have to be male or female, it doesn't really matter. But it could be a mother figure, it could just be someone that you have a lot of respect, or someone who did caretake for you at once upon a time, or just someone that kind of vibes in that energy a little bit more. They're coming your way. Like I said, there's a little bit of this energy that's maybe not 100% ready. Again, going back to this puppet. So someone does want to connect with you. Someone is trying to reach out to speak to you, but it is a little bit spicy. Have a conversation. Two of Wands. It's when we're at an impasse. It's when we have to kind of, again, like bring two opposing ideas, forces together. But it's on the heels of this Ace of Cups, Ten of Cups. So someone who sees the good in something down the line, and even if the offer is a little bit not how you envision it to be, or whatever this may be, it's still an offer, and there's a lot of love behind this. That is something that I think is really important. Okay, let me look at this a little bit more as to why collective is. Well, let's see this Queen of Pentacles intentions. The offer looks good. Okay. Uh-oh. Ten of Swords popped out. And, okay, the Knight of Cups. It's like someone's bringing in, and this might even be like a person or a situation that you don't like. Maybe someone's bringing you a truth about another person. We have Ten of Swords and Knight of Cups and Four of Cups. So someone who's like directly taking something for granted. The Four of Cups is when we get so lost in our own misery, despondence, depression, etc., that we can't see out of it. And that's how this Knight of Cups is vibing with the Ten of Swords. Ten of Swords is someone repeating mistakes, betrayal, backstabbing over and over and over again. And I'm seeing with this Queen of Pentacles, she might be giving you a heads up, or there's something that she's bringing you that, like, either it's a surprise to you because you're not really friends or you haven't really been talking, or there's something around this that makes you appreciate it. Also, you're a little bit hesitant about it. Like, what do you want type thing? Not that you have, I don't know if there's bad blood. It just feels like you're skeptical. It just feels like you're a little bit like, um, you want to believe them, but they might even have been collaborating with or whatever this Knight of Cups, right? And so that's where you're on the fence a little bit. Let me see how you feel about whatever they're bringing to you. On the fence. It might be about trust. I think that, I'm reminded of how a few weeks back we kept getting those messages around internal conflict, kind of really getting clear with yourself on what your opinions are, what your perspective is around certain things. Because I think that that's kind of where this choices comes into play. Maybe this Queen of Cups is putting choices on the table for you that offer solutions. I'm not sure that there's solutions that you like, because I do think that there is still some water under the bridge. There's still some type of disconnect between you and this Queen of Pentacles, because they're coming to you like, meh, like, I really don't want to. Almost like they feel responsibility. Maybe they know a piece of information, or they've heard something, and so they feel like they have to tell you, like they owe it to you type thing. But it also looks like whatever comes with that conversation feels a little bit difficult, and difficult for everyone involved. You're showing up as the Three of Swords. So it might make you look at some things that are painful. We have, interestingly enough, I know, I'm so sorry, Karen. The energy has been kind of just weird this week. And even leading up, like throughout last week, I was noticing, like, I kept reflecting back at the weekly reading, and I was like, man, like, I don't know if I really called it right, because like it ended up just being a little bit more intense, aggressive, volatile than I even expected. And not like huge things happened, but just there was like kind of like that boilerplate, like things were churning, things were ready to pop off if something hit the wrong note. And I think that the beauty of where the transits are at this week is, like I was talking about in the very beginning, we have way more space to actually focus time and energy on doing things in the right way for ourselves. That's the value of the lack of movement, or whatever, the snail's pace that we've been experiencing. But it can be really easy to get, you know, to follow the glowing light of the future, of just, I want to be out of this moment. And here's the thing, what I'll say to you is, I don't think it's like a horrible or worst thing ever. I think in some ways, whatever's happening, whatever is unfolding, even if there is pain, it's saying that, like, there's also a breakthrough, because Six of Swords reminds us that we are moving from things that are harder, that are more difficult, to calmer waters. And we get the Three of Pentacles following it, which is all about working together. It's teamwork, it's harmony, it's maybe even understanding each other a little bit better as well. And even if you and this earth energy aren't vibing, it's okay. There's something that's allowing that bridge to be gapped. I don't know if that came out right. Something that's bridging that gap, of movement forward, and it's okay, and it's gonna be okay. I think the concern is more about whomever this Knight of Cups energy is, water sign, Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. It could just be someone who is really emotional and not checking themselves. Again, where this 10 of Swords is coming into play. But I'm also not really seeing them as a huge threat. We have the 9 of Pentacles on at the bottom of the deck. So I don't know. I feel like if someone is going to act badly, you have a heads up to some capacity. And even though there's a lot of feeling, a lot of emotion that goes into all of this, that's part of what you're working to continue to grow, strengthen, empower in yourself. All right, let's move on, because I think things are going to get better. And I think actually, as I'm seeing this, what I'm seeing as the silver lining is this rope and end of the week. That's all about creating boundaries. So just remember, yes, there are some carrots a dangling, whether you want to call this devil energy or just tricky energy, people. And like I said, this is not like it's not about being paranoid. It's not about like hyper paranoia. I can't trust this person. These are people, these are situations that you already know are like you're on the fence about, or you've been getting intuitive hints and then you get confirmations about what you're sensing, what you're picking up about them, right? And like I said, I feel like spirit, universe, God, however you understand it, it is working in your favor. It's working in your favor with this Queen of Coins, because this person's situation is coming in to help you and give you the support that you need. Again, we don't always like love. I don't know. It's surprising to me still, like how people act and behave. But I'm seeing this tear catcher as something that is important for you to heal from. Maybe this is a little bit of a deeper wound that has been lingering around that I feel like you already are overcoming. We're midweek, it's going to be full moon in Libra, the 1st or the 2nd, depending on where you are located. And Libra does revolve around partnerships and relationships. So it is highlighting these things that I was just talking about. And yeah, it's bringing up some emotion, but I'm hearing like it's in hopes that you can sift through that and still find your worth and still find your value. The disappointment is really with the sun, moon tensely aspected to Cancer. So the things that we wanted to work out. And Jupiter's in Cancer right now. Cancer is like home, our family. It's just like all those comfy, cozy feelings vibes. So where we're putting our emphasis on like, this is exactly what I want, especially if you're focusing on something very specific that really just like hasn't been working. The 5 of Swords pops out. That's what we're really encouraged to make peace with, to kind of be very honest, very truthful with ourselves, and then make peace with what the realities are. And it's very interesting because the sun and moon are tensely aspected to Jupiter. Want, not going my way, but they're harmoniously aspected to Black Moon Lilith. So when we can see through, then it makes it that much easier. And I feel like that's exactly what you're experiencing this week. It's a lot of realizations. It's a lot of like come to Jesus moments, where you realize like, okay, this is exactly what it is. And so I have to set these accordingly for my own like mental, emotional, physical well-being. Okay, so midweek, lots of communication, especially if you are dealing with a few different energies. The King of Wands is in the blocked energy midweek. So Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. Someone who doesn't want to participate. Okay, and then we have the Knight of Swords. Honestly, it just looks like whatever you are having these epiphanies around is really helping you make certain choices. Choices that like either you're already in the process of making or they've been in the back of your mind for quite some time. And I think whatever's happening midweek, you're getting a lot of confirmation on what you should be doing, right? Or just like I said, like it's sitting in the back of your mind and then you come across something that says something that triggers it and you're like, "Oh yeah, I got to do that. I got to." And I think that you're starting to put plans into action with this Knight of Swords. I'm going to clarify this Seven of Swords. I think this is like you covering your butt, is what I'm hearing, like making sure that you're keeping your cards close to you around certain people that might be a little bit more controlling, volatile, manipulative. Because the King of Wands is someone who likes the control, right? Is often on the defensive or not very forgiving. You know what I mean? He's the most dominating one in my opinion out of the deck. And there we have conflict. Seven of Swords, conflict. The Knight of Wands, of course. It's a family affair, as often as it is, right? And then we have the Six of Pentacles. So it just looks like someone's really refusing to be a little bit more balanced. And again, like I don't think this is you being, bamboozled or completely, the wool was pulled over your eyes. You have some level of understanding at this point. And all that's happening midweek around that full moon is really just confirming what you need to do, because it does look like someone's immaturity is starting to seep through. A refusal, like I said, it's like a refusal to participate on some level or to be a little bit more of an adult, to be more grown up. Yeah, it's their own stuff though. Like someone who's just like, it's not even your responsibility to figure it out. It's just basically like, if you do put those plans into action, it's going to work out way better for your benefit. And we have the 10 of Cups. So we have the Chariot, the 10 of Cups. It's going to make you happier. You're going to feel better about yourself, about the situation as a whole. I feel like it is actually bringing an end to this 10 of Swords, right? Whatever that like repeated pattern, backstabbing, betrayal, however it fares out, like just the constant, whether someone's attacking you all the time or, coming after you or just constantly being a bad friend or whatever that is, bad family member, whatever. Um, it looks like by you taking hold of your power, the things you can control, taking action where you need to, it's only going to bring an end to this cycle. And I think this is something that you're ready for, that you're like waiting for. Maybe you're expecting someone else to do it or participate with you as well, and they're just not. I don't think you're really getting a response out of someone, or like I said, there's just like a lot of arrogance, even if you are trying to talk to someone. But beginning of the week, communication is just not only beginning of the week, but through midweek as well. We're seeing that. Sorry, I just caught my eye with Mercury and Black Moon Lilith. So basically trying to reason with these types of people or situations. You can't reason with an unreasonable individual, unfortunately. And you know that. I think this is not anything new for you. I think that this is just more about confirmations, confirming what you need to do for yourself, where you need to put up your boundaries so that you are protecting yourself. And it's going to be a little bit easier to do as the week progresses, because we have more support end of the week. Yes, there is still tension in some of the places that I've talked about, like the moon tensely aspect, or sorry, the sun tensely aspected to Jupiter. Also, the moon is tensely aspected to Uranus. So, rebelling against whomever, whatever this is, might feel a little weird or foreign or awkward. But remember, if you've done something for a long time and you're making a choice to do something differently, there's always going to be that need to be flexible with self. It always reminds me, I don't know why I think of this because I didn't like specifically love the movie Bambi, but I always think of that scene when Bambi's first born and all like wobbly on her legs. Like that's what it kind of reminds me of. It's okay to not be perfect quite yet. But you also need to know your boundaries. And I think a lot of what's happening this week is helping clarify those boundaries for you. The Nine of Cups came out. I'm just hearing there's like a sense of relief. So hopefully that helps, Karen, because I was kind of feeling like you too, where I was just like, oh, great, just another week. And I've been seeing that as I've been doing the collective reads every day, where I'm just like, we just got out of this. I thought things that were on the up and up, and they've just taken a little bit of a nosedive. Again, it's not horrible. It's just more annoying. 100%. As I'm saying that, temperance falls out. Temperance is being able to temper all the forces that you're working with, right? Like knowing how you want something to look versus dealing with the reality of what it is, and then kind of making peace in real time, which is not an easy thing to do. And I feel like that's a lot of what the energy is teaching us this week, how to not fall into whatever this is, whatever carrots are being dangled. It's the charm, it's the allure. And these are going to be easy. I say that loosely, but they're going to be easy to pick out. It's definitely things that you've been paying attention to, that you've been working on, that you're trying to like get over, move on from, etc. Trust your instincts, trust your intuition. It's more about the topical, the ego, the being too attached to things, too attached to ideas or false realities of people, of situations. That's where we're going to get into trouble. But I also, like I said, there's more support at the end of the week. Oh, happy birthday! Whoop, whoop. Aries, baby. I love it. Let me pull that comment up. Sorry, it comes in and out on my screen. So happy birthday. So excited for you. I hope you totally enjoy. I know it's so hard with it. Well, what I love, number one, 50th birthday, like 5 is the year of change, right? Like bettering ourselves. Actually, the knowledge, the information that you've picked up to date is um allowing you to transition, to be stronger, to be more grounded in self. And the work that you put in this decade is definitely going to pay off in the future, because the 60s, excuse me, I'm tripping over my words, but the 60s, they give us a little bit more balance, more stability. We're kind of easing into hopefully a more enjoyable space of life, etc. So enjoy it, chalkboard memories. I'm so excited to see you here. Thank you for showing up always. I did see your message too. I will respond, I promise. I'm juggling a lot, so please don't take it personally. It's not personally, I promise. Or personal, excuse me. I got really excited. I'm so excited for you. I hope you have a fabulous birthday and celebrate. Just surrounded by a lot of love, a lot of support. All right, so we get Page of Coins in our blocked energy towards the end of the week. There's something that's, let's see. Like, okay, so boundaries, right? Boundaries are needing to be set. Yeah, no problem. No problem. Good to see you. So end of the week, boundaries need to be set. It does look like whatever kind of immature energy you're dealing with, there is some pushback. Like I'm almost hearing like this is an energy that you can't completely cut off. This is something that you actually just have to learn how to work around, i.e., where these boundaries are going to become really important. And I don't know that this energy is going to stay around too long. That's to be determined. Everyone's situation is going to be a little bit different. They kind of have this, well, they're showing up a little bit foolish. Let's see what their intention is with collective. Okay, there's our King of Coins. Trying to show that they do have things together. Nine of Pentacles. It looks like someone's trying to change their tune. This is some of that energy that I was feeling that's like maybe dragging their heels a little bit, or was that might have been yesterday's reading, excuse me. But I'm getting this energy of someone like trying to throw a new option or a new solution into the mix. I'm not sure. This energy feels a little disconnected. Like maybe this is something who's not even aware of themselves, aware of their own capacity is what I want to say, because it does look like they're promising something I'm not really sure they can deliver on. Or also you could be dealing with something that's trying to sell a version of themselves that doesn't really exist. But there's something around this that either you need, or like I said, it feels like whatever you're dealing with, you can't completely cut it off. You just need to know what your boundaries are. And this is 100% based on how they're showing up to you this week. Like, don't take someone at their word. I think, again, I'm seeing someone who's trying to present a different persona, a persona that you know is not true, because like this is how it's coming through in the past. We have the Emperor, Five of Pentacles, 10 of Wands. So when people choose bad behavior, Five of Pentacles, then they're feeling left out, then they want your attention, then they want this, that, and the other. And the fact that they're not getting it, it's stressing them out, you know? But they know how they know how you want them to act and behave. And I don't know. I mean, I think okay, let's see why with this Page of Pentacles, why you have to engage with this energy. You might have something. Four of Swords, because it is giving you something to think about, or something is giving you something to think about. Like I said, especially if they're putting other ideas on the table, other options, other solutions. And like I said, I'm not trying to knock this person or whoever, whatever this is that you're dealing with. There might be aspects of it that are available for you, that are good for you, or that you do need to engage with to whatever capacity. But again, like, know your limits. If someone doesn't know theirs, well, that's not your fault, right? But this is definitely saying, I don't know, like for some reason, there's some type of commitment here. There might be something that you can't, again, that's basically putting you in a position where you can't really sever ties. And so you have to learn how to work around the energy. This could be family with our Four of Wands here. People that are just, or like whatever, they could be coworkers, people you can't really get away from unless you're like changing jobs, changing positions, etc. But it doesn't feel like that. It feels more like a saga. That's what I keep picking up. Like it's just, I'm picking up this energy of like you can't end it. You can't end things right now for whatever reason. I don't know if you necessarily think it's a bad thing, because it is giving you things to think about. This is the Hierophant. It's tradition, it's family, it's commitment, it's ascribing to higher morals, values. Six of Cups are people that are deep, I don't want to, but they're people that we really care about. They're people that we love. They're people that we've had long-term relationships with. And I think that that's kind of where that saga piece comes into play. It just feels like it's not an ending, it's more of a to be continued. And I think there's other layers of the story that are playing out this week, i.e., whatever this information the Queen of Pentacles is bringing to you. We have the Rebirth card. So it is offering new things. Like I said, but it's changing the dynamic. It's not necessarily giving you something completely new and fresh and out of left field. It feels like we're not at that stage yet. And I think this is a lot of, because what I'm feeling with this Aries season, as much as it is fire energy and we get movement, we get momentum, at the same time there's also this call to make sure that we're focusing on self. So knowing what you want and being really clear about that, and making sure that you're checking in with yourself, that it actually aligns with your intentions. Because Pisces season brought up a lot. There's still a lot of water energy kind of in and out as we're navigating through the beginning of Aries season. And so what our wants and needs, what our goals were originally, they might have shifted and changed. And that's what I think some of this is highlighting, where there is a reworking of the energy. There's some messiness that goes with it. It's not a bad thing because you do have it under control. And I think that's the baseline. That's what you need, where you need to trust yourself. Yeah, maybe something's trying to throw a little trickery your way, but you can sniff it out because you've been down that road before. Yeah, spirit's got your back. That's what I feel with that energy. Spirit's got your back. And not only that, like your third eye, crown chakra, like you're very open. Your spiritual center is very open because we still do have a lot of water energy, like I was saying. So it's easier to tap into that, especially if you do a meditation practice or you devote time to connecting with yourself each day. That is one of the best ways that we can strengthen our intuition, flex those muscles, using your senses, right? Your feeling senses. And Ayurveda talks a lot about how that is such an important component to when we're making certain decisions, when we're making certain choices. And sometimes what we maybe think our response is going to be might look a little bit different when we hear different pieces of information or more things are brought to the table to kind of bring out different potential, different results. I think that some of what's being discussed this week, it's not set in stone. I think that whatever's being brought in, it's a potential, and you might explore that potential just to see if it can actually be something. I think you're looking at it very, I'm holding on lightly. I think if anything, you're coming from a little bit more of a pessimistic standpoint because of like what you've been through, and honestly, like how some of this energy, how some of these people are playing out, that's part of, but you're strong enough, you're grounded, you're stable, you're in alignment in a way that is helping you protect, right? Like making sure that your boundaries are there to keep you safe, to keep you happy, to keep you protected, regardless of what people throw our way. At the end of the day, we do have control over where we put our focus, where we put our energy. Easier said than done, especially when people are trying to mess with us or just do low vibey things, be bad people, whatever that looks like for you. but we don't have to get stuck there, and if anything, there's more power in not getting stuck there and letting it roll off your back and moving on, moving forward. You've already gotten a lot of stability in that department. And so I think a lot of the stuff that is kind of popping up lately is testing, challenging you, even highlighting how strong you are, how strong you've become. And know that even if some of the stuff that does pop up with this Queen of Coins, even if it is a little bit uncomfortable or not palatable or whatever, you will have the strength to endure and to overcome. And yeah, you might have to do a little grieving midweek, but that's okay too. That will pass too, and I think actually even like quicker than what you might even think on this end of the coin, because you've already done a lot of the healing around this. That's what I see. That's what I feel. I hope you enjoyed the reading. Thank you so much for everyone who joined tonight. I so appreciate you. I hope you found messages that resonated for you here. Thank you for interacting. Thank you for engaging. I love the energy when we connect, when we can connect. Definitely drop comments below too if you would like to share in a little love, a little TLC, because I so appreciate all the love, all the support that you bring to the channel. No, it blesses my heart. And I am always sending love and blessings your way. I will probably be live for full moon and I'll upload. I think I'll probably be live for full moon reading. So stay tuned. I'll post it. I'll try to remember to post it beforehand, and that will be Wednesday. So when I'm looking at that, hope you have a fabulous few days. Lots of love, lots of blessings. Talk to you soon.